Okay, episode 8. Let's get right into this. We start off this episode with Kenny's mom cooking, and when Kenny walks in the kitchen, somehow...
Hey yo, what the fuck?
And I'm sorry, with everything that's been going on in this damn town, I would have immediately wanted to... But Kenny goes to answer the phone anyway, and as he's listening, there's some creepy faint song playing in the background, and then... Then his mother wakes him up. Apparently,
it was all a dream.
But as he wakes up,
What the fuck?
Come on, man.
As if enough wasn't already happening to these motherfuckers, now this nigga wants to enter the chat. Now people aren't even safe in their fucking dreams. But now we cut to Jim, and he's with this fucking prick. And they're trying to use his drone to get above the trees to find some kind of signal. And while they're doing this, him and Jim are talking about how this town likes to break people mentally. And as Jim mentions Sarah, the prick says exactly what I said.
What this place did to that girl, Sarah.
When they tried to hurt your kid?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the fact that she's still breathing, they got a lot more strength than I do.
But then they finally get the drone up and flying, and this shit barely gets 15 feet in the air. Goddamn, bruh. Even when this dude's trying to help, he's still completely useless. But then he asks Jim if he actually seen anyone get killed, and he's basically implying that there might be a couple of moles living amongst them who are in on this so-called experiment trying to drive everybody crazy. And the whole time I'm just like, bruh, why are you even talking to this nigga about everything? We always know that he's gonna overreact. And then he even suggests that Tom was a fake death.
Shut your lame ass up.
All because he didn't get to go inspect the body when he died. Like, the ego on this guy is insane, as if he's just gonna be the decider if the death is real or not. And then he even tells Jim that maybe him arriving just in time to stop Sarah from killing Ethan might have also been a part of the plan to get to him. And now it seems like he even has Jim thinking. But then we cut to Boyd, and Sarah pays him a visit and says she wants to go back out in the woods. Like, bruh, we already know you want to get out of the town because you don't like how the townspeople are viewing you and treating you. But you deserve this shit. But then Boyd tells her she just can't run from the city, and he suggests he has something for her to do. But then we cut to Tabitha and Jade, and she's showing him the cave that her and Victor went through, which is where the monsters come out. And Jade asks,
Did Victor see it? You told me Victor was down there with you. Did he see the symbol on the walls?
Of course, he was the one that pointed it out.
Of course.
Bro, what's wrong with him? Something wrong with this nigga, bro.
I asked him point blank. He promised to tell me everything he knew about that symbol, yet somehow he manages to leave out.
and at this point I'd also be annoyed, because why the hell is Victor holding out on so much information? Like, not everybody has spent their entire lives here. Some of these people still want to go home. But then right on cue, we cut to Victor, and he went to the house to go visit Ethan because he has a gift for him. And when he arrives, Julie says she never got to thank him for saving her life, and he just responds,
Okay.
You weird, buddy. You're weird.
I understand he's emotionally stunted, but this nigga doesn't even have manners. But as Ethan comes to the door, Victor tells him to come outside to see what he has for him, and he pulls out of the bag his old coat from when he was young. Then as Ethan thanks him for the coat, he hands him a drawing he made of him, and then Victor says,
I don't want this.
but he actually has a good reason this time, and he says,
Why?
Because pictures are for things that are gone.
pictures are for things that are no longer here. But then Ethan says if you don't take the picture, he doesn't want the coat, so Victor keeps the drawing. Then we cut back to Boyd, and he went to see Ellis, and Ellis seems to be recovering nicely from the stab wound. And Boyd asks Ellis why he's smiling so hard. Then Ellis says,
I have some news.
but then Donna shows up asking for Boyd's attention, and Ellis tells Boyd to just go with Donna and he'll tell him later. Like, I swear, Donna's timing is always impeccable. She always manages to interrupt something, important or otherwise. And Donna is basically pissed because Boyd is telling her to entertain Sarah and keep her occupied. And understandably so. Like, they've been putting a lot of stress on this lady. I don't even know how she's keeping up under all of this. And as Donna is listing off everything she's been dealing with, she mentions Elgin almost drowning in his sleep.
First of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Like, shit, man, this motherfucker strikes again. When Elgin was being drowned in the tub, I didn't even know that was a dream. I thought that shit was real. So then Boyd goes to check on Elgin, and he asks him about his dream.
I was sitting in the bathtub, and then something pushed me under the water. Someone shook me awake, and I started spitting up water, and how's it even possible?
But after hearing about Elgin's dream, Boyd mentions the bile they took out of that one monster and basically says that they want to try to get this into other monsters without getting themselves killed. And Elgin suggests that they make silver bullets. And I can just see it now. Boyd and Kenny are about to be outside at nighttime like... But now we cut to the diner with Julie, Ethan, and Victor. And Ethan reaches in Victor's coat pocket and pulls out a headless doll. And then he hands it to Victor. And then this leads to Victor having a flashback of his mom telling him to be brave as she handed him this doll.
I need you to be brave.
Then a pissed off Jade comes barging into the diner.
He's in here.
Listen, we gotta talk.
I have to go. Huh? No.
Hey, what are you doing?
You made a deal, remember? I play you the song, you tell me about the symbol.
Hey, leave him alone.
But then as Jade questions him, Victor tries to leave again, and Jade is just like, "You can't keep getting away with it!" and chases him down. And rightfully so, like everyone has their own lives waiting for them and they want to get back home. No information is irrelevant in that context. Victor is lucky somebody doesn't just... And I do understand, like Victor's been there his entire life since he was a kid, so he really has nothing waiting for him back in the real world. But you can't just look at it like that when the other people that are there with you actually have lives waiting for them and loved ones back home. But as if right on cue, Jade asks Victor does he even want to go home, and Victor responds,
This is my home.
Is this nigga serious?
yeah, it's official. He has no hope, nor is he pressed to get back to the real world. Which, I mean, from his perspective, he really doesn't have shit waiting for him back there. His family's dead, and he never really had a home since he was a kid when he left. So, I guess I can't really blame him. Then Tabitha tells Jade, and honestly, I'm with Jade in this situation. I'd be pissed off too if I found out Victor is constantly holding out on information he has with no regard of anyone else trying to get home, because he happens to have given up hope on life. Like, if that's the context, fuck what she's talking about. I'm being pissed at Victor too. But Tabitha goes after Victor to try to calm him down. Then we cut back to Jim and this fucking prick. And they're showing up at the church to talk to Sarah. And as Jim is trying to ease his way into questioning her gently, Randall just flies in hot and says,
Please, is your brother still alive?
Emotional damage.
Now, don't get me wrong, I am all for putting Sarah through hell for all the shit she's done to people, but I can already see from the way he's carrying this whole situation, he's gonna be a much bigger problem than he's already been. But right after Randall asks her this, Donna walks in. Then Randall says,
It's convenient.
like, bruh, this dude Jim should have never put him on to the idea of this shit being a conspiracy, because now he's just going full on fucking tinfoil hat. Like, he doesn't trust anyone he sees. But then Randall tries to press Donna, and the whole time she's just looking at him like,
get a load of this guy.
But Jim finally calms this nigga down and he walks out. And now Donna's just looking at Jim like,
What the fuck you talking to her for?
But then Jim goes after Randall and basically tells him he can't just assume every little thing. But then he suggests that him and Randall should stay in the RV at night to actually watch what the creatures do when they don't know they're being watched. And to me, this just sounds like a one-way trip to
Muy bien. Muy bien.
I'm sorry, no amount of curiosity is gonna make me stay anywhere outside of the city after seeing the way they leave people when they get their hands on them. Like, these motherfuckers clean their plates completely, no crumbs. But then Jim goes back to the diner and tells Julie that he's not coming home tonight, but not to worry. And then as he's walking out of the diner, he walks right into Donna, and she is noticeably pissed off.
Don't even tell me you put this shit in Randall's head. That guy is a fucking powder keg. If you start putting ideas in his head,
I didn't tell him about the voice.
And she has no clue how right she is. But then we cut back to Tabitha and she's going to visit Victor, and she thanks him for the coat he got Ethan. Then she asks him the important question.
Why didn't you tell Jade we saw that symbol in the tunnels?
But then Victor's reason is people shouldn't go looking for answers because then bad things tend to happen. But at the same time, when y'all just stay in the city like sitting ducks, bad things still happen, so. But then Victor mentions having more pictures hidden in a special place and then asks him if he remembers where he put them. Then we cut back to Boyd, and he's going to see Kenny, and he immediately notices the burn on Kenny's arm, but then he decides to just tell Kenny about Elgin's silver bullet idea. So they decide to go to the clinic, and as they arrive, Christy and her fiance say that they heard noises coming from downstairs, so Boyd and Kenny go to check it out. And as they arrive at the room where they were holding the creature's body, they see it's covered in those same damn cicadas from Kenny's dream. Then Kenny shows the burn on his arm in reference to his dream. And Christy's fiance, upon hearing this, is noticeably shitting bricks. Then Donna shows up at the clinic and we cut back to Tabitha with Victor, and he's taking her to that area he moved all the cars to, and he says he's afraid to remember, but Tabitha encourages him on and they continue looking. But then we cut back to the clinic where Donna just showed up, and she is pissed off about him holding the monster in the clinic without ever mentioning it to her. She says what I've been saying.
You need to burn this thing.
Like, yes, finally someone with some common sense. I don't know why they didn't burn this fucking creature a while ago. As soon as I got the bile out, I would have set that nigga on fire right there. But as they're getting ready to leave and burn the monster, Boyd says he suggests everyone sleep in shifts just to be on the safer side in case anyone else gets attacked in their dreams. Since, you know, this motherfucker decided to enter the chat. But then we cut back to Victor and Tabitha, and as Victor opens the trunk to a car and finds a bunch of old pictures, he drops to his knees as his memories start flowing.
Your sister. Please don't go, Mommy.
These aren't mine. They're not mine.
Your picture's okay. And you stay here all night. I love you.
Like, damn, I already knew bro had a tragic anime backstory, but the shit just keeps getting worse and worse the more he starts to remember. Like, he really lost his entire family in a single instant. I can't blame him for being so emotionally stunted. But then we cut back to Donna, and Randall comes to apologize.
Donna.
Come in peace.
Like, boy, you've been nothing but a giant problem since you showed up. Even on the bus you were on bullshit. But he asks her if they can go talk, and she decides to go with him. But then we cut back to Victor, and he's blaming himself for running and losing his sister and his mom in a single moment. But then Tabitha asks him about a specific drawing he's holding, and he says he wanted to save the children that were trapped in a tower. And I'm just thinking like, could these be the same children that looked dead and were swarming Tabitha in those same woods? If so, Tabitha's in for a fucking bad time. But then we cut back to Boyd, and someone is running out of a house covered in blood screaming for help. But then we cut to Jim, who's walking to the woods to meet Randall at the RV, but as he arrives...
Randall?
Jim?
Randall, what the fuck? New plan.
Like, goddamn, bro, you really can't tell this nigga anything. He is the definition of you can't take niggas nowhere. And of all the people, this is the fucking guy Jim decides to team up with. But then on that note, the episode ends. Like, if it is one thing this episode taught me, is that there is no floor for how bad a character can get. I already thought Randall was bad, but he just somehow keeps managing to sink lower and lower. But that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And this has been MarblePluto. Until next time.